Hey friend, how are you? It's been a while since we've done just a kitchen prep week. We have been going with the flow of the summer and been very spontaneous, but school season is back in session and I am getting my routine back together. I do have some tomato sauce and as you can see, I still have tomatoes here. This is the last of my fresh tomatoes that I got to do something with. I also have freeze-dried tomatoes to pull out of the freeze dryer. But for now, I want to get started with shredding some chicken. So we're going to get this in the crock pot with its seasonings and get that cooking. And I know I just made all those seasonings and I should be using them right now, but I really wanted to make these Cool Ranch chicken taquitos that we made in the spring. They were so good. We ate them up really quickly. And so they're very convenient for lunches. So I want to get started on that. So we're going to get this chicken in here. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning. And 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning. You do not need to use store-bought seasoning. You can totally make the seasoning on your own and use that if you have. Just pop a lid on this and get it on low. Okay, so we're gonna take, there's 2 trays of tomato skins, leftover pulp and seeds that we're gonna puree to make a tomato powder for when we want to use to make a paste or thicken up sauces. All right, change of plans because I had a smoothie this morning, so my blade is still a little wet. I'm just gonna dry off all the drips and stuff and like hold off for a little bit so that that can dry a little bit more. We'll move on to our next task. I can't just have these sitting out though, so I'm just gonna put them in a bag to save for when we are ready to start. Or actually, I might just put it in a jar. And one more. Okay, my next task is to get these hot peppers in the dehydrator. And don't forget to wear your gloves so your fingers don't burn. Okay guys, so the dehydrator is on. I'm gonna empty out my hot pepper seeds and stuff. And I'm gonna get this cleaned up so that we don't get any hot pepper juice on us and feel the pain later. So we're gonna get this cleaned up. I am gonna go into the garden and check to see if I have any more hot peppers that can go on there, because I do have one more tray available if I do. And then we're gonna get back in and start making some food. So as you can see with this one, it is not fully ripened, but I am getting some blushing on it. And since I've been getting a lot of caterpillar damage at this point in the year, I am taking anything that is blushing because I don't want things to get wasted. I mean, look at that. That's disgusting. Look at that bug in there. So the wildlife can have that one, but I am going to do my best to save the rest. These are those brown sugar ones. They are so good. They will ripen a little bit more. Look at these monsters. They're so big. These are the Hungarian hearts. I love them. It's pretty green, but we'll still take it because it is blushed and I don't want the bugs to get to it first. Oh, here's a nice one down here. Woo! I dropped it. It's huge. And while this looks like an overgrown mess, it is still giving peppers. I believe, are these the nata pinos? These are the nata pinos. We have some poblanos. These are some tam jalapenos, which are mild. Amazing that anything is still growing in this garden. We have not had rain in so long. It has been weeks. And yet, while the plants don't look too happy, the food coming off still looks great. We have a few banana peppers turning purple, so let's grab those. Okay, so we have some lemon drop and some banana peppers. All right, so we have 14 eggs in our pot, and we are gonna turn that on like medium high and let that come to a boil. After it comes to a boil, then I will put the lid on and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. I just keep reusing these same containers because we buy in bulk. We go through eggs way too fast to buy them by the dozen. So I'm just going to move these eggs into these 2 cartons, and then this box will go back out to the garage fridge, and then this will stay in our kitchen. And this will go back out to the garage fridge. We have our freeze-dried tomatoes put up, Cool Ranch chicken cooking in the crock pot. We have our hot peppers in the dehydrator, hard-boiled eggs on the stove. Now it's time for some apple scones with maple glaze. They're so good. First, we are going to add our dry ingredients. And for that, we need 3 cups of flour. We want 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. We're gonna stir this really good. Okay, so now we wanna chop up our butter, but you wanna keep it cold, so don't really touch it that much. So we're gonna put our 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter chopped up into the food processor. And then we're gonna pour our dry ingredients in. And we're just gonna pulse this until the butter is small bits inside, mixed within the flour. You'll see it's very crumbly. We're gonna set that aside. We're gonna mix up our wet ingredients. We need a 1/2 cup of applesauce, 1/4 cup of heavy cream. We have 1 egg, and then we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we are almost done with this vanilla. It's getting very low. And this year, I will be able to use homemade vanilla extract because last late fall, I put together my own vanilla extract. So that is very exciting to be able to use. All right, we're gonna mix this up pretty good. And then we're gonna peel and chop up an apple. And our eggs are boiling, so we are gonna turn that stove off and let that sit. Here comes the part you're really gonna wanna watch. You want to make a well with this because you don't wanna overmix. This is the part where you don't wanna overmix. So you have mixed your dry ingredients really well, then you chopped in your butter. You mixed your wet ingredients in the measuring glass really well. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the wet ingredients into the center. Okay. And our apples. And we're gonna gently mix this up. That is good enough. We don't need everything to be wet. And then we are going to empty this out. Again, you don't really want to touch this because you don't want your body heat to warm your dough too much. I'm just going to bring this in. I want to make a disc-shaped circle with it. So I just want to get it where it's sticking together. All right, we got a pretty flat disc. I made 8 triangles. We're gonna get these on the baking sheet, and then I'm gonna go this way. And then we're gonna put this in the fridge for 20 minutes. You don't want it to be warm when it goes in the oven. And I'm gonna get these in the fridge for 20 minutes. I'm gonna go check on the eggs because they probably need to go into ice water now. The scones have been in the refrigerator for 20 minutes, so now I'm gonna turn on our oven to 425. When this gets up to temperature, then we will put the scones in to bake. And they're gonna bake for 20 minutes. We're ready to cook these in the oven for 20 minutes. Okay guys, so the scones are done cooking. We're gonna take them out and let them cool. Ah, they're beautiful looking. They are so beautiful. We are gonna let those cool down, and then they can get glazed. I have somewhere I have to be in for a little bit, so I am gonna let these cool while I'm gone. And when we get back, we will finish our kitchen prep. 1 teaspoon of vanilla with 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 2 teaspoons of milk. And of course you can see we already ate one, but who's counting? So now we're just gonna drizzle this on. Remember, our scones have cooled down. And these are nice and cool now, but if they were a little warm, it would kind of melt into it a little bit if you wanted, which I really like. I think that's a nice additional flavor. Okay, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, a clove of minced garlic, or you could do 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a squeeze of mustard. If you have Dijon mustard, you could definitely use that. I just don't have one opened, and I had that, so. A tablespoon of sour cream. I think I just put in like 1/2 tablespoon. A 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. 2/3 a cup of olive oil. And this is the one I like to use for salads. 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna mix this up. See how pretty that looks? Okay guys, it is the next day and we have to finish our chicken taquitos, and then our meal prep for the week will be good and we'll be all set. Start with putting a block of cream cheese into our bowl. Teaspoon of chili seasoning. A half pint of salsa. And 8 ounces of shredded cheese. And I'm using Colby Jack in this one. You can use cheddar, mozzarella, whatever kind of cheese you like or have on hand. And then I'm going to get this mixed up really well. And then I'm going to add our shredded chicken. And now we're going to get these wrapped up in tortillas. We ended up with 15 chicken taquitos and I put them in my freezer bags. They'll go in the freezer, and then if anyone wants one, they can just pull it out, put it on a plate, and microwave or air fry to warm it up. Super easy and super convenient for snacks or lunches. So that's a wrap, guys. We finished our meal prep for the week and we are ready to not worry about a lot of things, but we do still have a lot of cleaning projects that we need to get done this week. So I will see you again soon. Bye.